Hello there. You're welcome to the Youth Empowered podcast brought to you by the Nigerian Bottling Company. This is a podcast for youth, by youth, to youth, to do just what the name implies, empower youth. We aim to take today's problems and turn them into tomorrow's opportunities for young people. To begin today's episode, I'm sorry to tell you, shift happened. In case you're a fresh graduate or you're a seasoned professional looking to pivot careers, I have to be honest with you, shift happens, but not in the way you think. Today on the show, we'll be discussing the ways we can navigate the exciting and dynamic world of career paths, and I will not be doing that alone. My name is Moses Dickson, and I have been joined by two very esteemed guests, as you can already see. And of course, we're here in the person of Similolu Adeyinka, the Deputy General Manager, Corporate Services, FIRST Exploration and Petroleum Development Company, FIRST E&P. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, at the same time, Misan Ilesanmi.
Thank you.
I've dignified the name.
Yes, you did.
She's a distinguished leader in supply chain capability development at Nigerian Bottling Company. You're both welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
We've had a lot of conversations behind the scenes because I particularly am quite excited by the conversation we're about to have, because almost everyone, at least with air in their lungs, waking up every single morning, is thinking of the best move, not only the next move, but the best move to make to save time, to ascend rapidly, and also get the things that you believe that anyone that's growing up should get. So I feel like right now it's very pertinent to discuss career paths and how dynamic it truly is. But I want to also begin with a little bit of your background, your educational background, and your experience as a woman in the oil and gas sector, and how you carved out your space with confidence.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice to be here. Background education, I have a first degree in finance and banking from the University of Lagos, a master's MBA from the University of Hull in the UK, and I have a certification in SAP in HR. But of course, my career started in banking because that was what my first degree was in. So worked in banking for a few years, then went to do my master's. During my master's program, I became interested in human resources, but even coming back home, it was still banking. That's where I found a job. But I knew I wanted to do human resources, so I kept looking for those opportunities. And then I saw something from Phillips Consulting, looking for a HR consultant, but somebody that had experience in financial services. So that was my first move, and that took me into the world of HR. But currently, I've worked in HR for over 25 years, but currently I do corporate services, which includes human resources, facilities management, corporate communications, and branding. Those add-ons are the discussions for as we move along. I'll tell you how those ones have now been add-ons.
Definitely.
But that's it.
Just by the trajectory alone, I feel like there's a lot there's a lot we can learn, or we're about to learn.
Yes.
How about you, ma'am? How did you trace your career path across departments, and how did you embrace growth within the Nigerian Bottling Company?
So I would start with my background is business administration, and people would always ask me, what are you doing in supply chain? Why are you there? Because people feel that in this space, we should be engineers. Mm-hmm. I'm not an engineer. I also use this to motivate my students when I'm talking to them, or the younger ones, that you can be anything you want to be, as far as you put your heart and you are hardworking, as in you're disciplined and you want to get there. So for me, I'm younger than Simi. I'll be 17 years in August in Nigerian Bottling Company. I started with warehousing, went into logistics. At the time, I was logistics operations manager. I went into the space of BPMS, Business Performance Management System, managing the country BPMS. For me, that role was an eye-opener. You know everything happening in the business, and you try as much as possible to ensure that everything is done well and the business is profitable. So it gave me a slow pace at operations. Not slow pace, more like a pause. Because in 17 years, probably 14 years of my life, core operations. So I went into BPMS and went back as logistics operations manager, Lagos and West region. I always had the toughest region. And afterwards, after doing that for about 2 years, I'm now the supply chain capability development manager. I was telling Simi, she asked, what does that mean? I said, I make everyone in supply chain capable, as in capable to do their jobs and to do it very well. So that's a bit about me for now. I know more questions will come.
Definitely. In fact, I want to quickly zero in on I feel like both of you have been exposed to different levels of your respective careers. So I just want to quickly take note of something before we move on to pivoting altogether in careers. I want us to understand the shift before making it. So how important would you say emotional intelligence and adaptability are when it comes to making career shifts? Because I feel like no matter how capable you are, if you don't know how to really navigate a terrain, you will be overlooked and most certainly underpaid. So
you want to start?
No, you tell them. You've heard about, you have listened in the background, you told me about the overlooking or you making yourself be overlooked.
Yeah. So I started my first job. Should I say the name?
Please, that name is just one I can never forget.
I started as an independent checker in Nigerian Bottling Company. It was a role a new role. We were the pioneers. We were employed as managers, but the job was actually to check everything coming in and leaving. The plant operations. Both people, the trucks and everything. It comes with a lot of trust, on you, because the company believes that whatever you sign on and you say this is 10, it's actually 10. And in the 4 years, okay, my background from home, I'm the last of 6 children. So really introverted and everything. And I'm in this space with a lot of men, and you know what you guys can be you can become. You speak. You speak even when you don't know what you're saying. Wow. Sorry.
I feel bad on behalf of all the men.
But
I understand.
That's how you're born. Yes. You're just outspoken.
We're wired to be more extroverted.
Yes, that's how you're wired. So I'm in the midst of these guys and everything, even my own ideas. Because I couldn't speak up, I couldn't come out, these guys would lead it, and they are recognized for it. And after some time, I was the lead of that team for another reason, probably because I was the only lady. But what I saw was, when opportunities come, I would nominate them. This guy can go, this guy. And because they were already out there, outspoken and all of that, had good ideas, people would, give them the roles. And after everyone was done, just me left with the new guys, it was now time for me to leave, literally. And I had a boss that came then and said, Misan, I need you, you have to leave. Going back to emotional intelligence and everything, I've done about above 10 roles in Nigerian Bottling Company. More operational, more with people, because most of them in logistics.
Yes.
And I tell my manufacturing guys, I said, it's easier to work in manufacturing than logistics, because in manufacturing, you're dealing more with machines. You press A, it gives you B. But with people, with my drivers, I say stand and they move. It's actually very challenging dealing with people, very challenging, naturally. Because maybe background, maybe their exposure, maybe what they know, what they don't know, training they need. Maybe that's why I'm in capability now.
But you seem to have managed all of that quite well.
Okay, that's why the promotions came in. But I tell you, not easy. You can't read the minds of people. I had a colleague then that said, anytime it rains, I can't come to work. And I'm like, how? What happened? And it's like, because of where I stay. And this is corporations. We run shifts. If I don't see you, if I don't hand over to you, I can't go. So what it means is that anytime that guy is on shift and it rains,
then you can expect the work to a standstill.
The other person needs to work over the time and everything.
So how do you, when things like that occur, how does one, because you have to have empathy, I believe, because we're not just out here making money. There has to be some human element to it. And I also want to ask, because I can imagine it's somewhat more cutthroat in the petroleum industry.
Let me just say before you get to her, and because we're talking to the young guys.
Okay.
So I had a peculiar case with a colleague, and he cannot just come to work early, as in for whatever reason. And I remember having a discussion with him, and we agreed his resumption time and his closing time. I think that helped me and helped him, because as in normal resumption time is 8 a.m. and we aligned that he will be coming 9 and he will be doing over as in 6 p.m. So it still has the 8 to 5. For me, as in that was a big shift. So company rule says 8 to 5, but you can negotiate, you can talk. We're human beings, we can understand and we can move on. So I just want to put that out, because we're talking to these young guys, and they should feel and know that we're humans, we feel, we know, and we're open to some conversations if they're also open to it.
Definitely.
So see me.
I know, I totally feel what you've said. Just to go more into my own pivots and shifts, unlike Misan, who's been with Nigerian Bottling Company for 17 years, I've actually worked in 13 different companies.
Wow.
So in my early career, it was more focused on where is the next learning experience. Okay. So I used to do, by 2 years, I'm looking for the next opportunity.
Wow.
And that was always deliberate. So I knew I was looking for. And I was also probably on the database of all the recruiters that was there. So they will also tell me about opportunities that were going on that I might want to go for. I never said no to any interview, because there's no point saying no. You need to find out what it's about. And it's now still your choice to take the offer or not. So I always went to every interview. Even sometimes I'll think, I'm not sure about this company, but let me go and hear it out. This is me externally. Let me actually see what the role is about and what the job is about. So by my 3rd year, I was going on to the next opportunity. And that's where my own trajectory came from, because each role most of the roles were either a step up, a new learning experience, a new industry experience. So I began to acquire all of that. So for me, with talking to our young ones, explore. Don't say no to things. You never know what that is, except of course when you're quite sure that the values of this organization don't match my values in any shape or form. But it's always good to have conversations, because interviewing is also a skill. Definitely. So the more interviews you go for, the more comfortable you are at those interviews, and the more you learn from the questions they've asked, and you can put it in your repertoire. So for me, that's where my own trajectory came from. Mostly, definitely, every 2-3 years, look for that opportunity. Recruiters started calling me. Oh, it's HR. We know you've done HR. We know you are good at this. Can you come? Okay. So that's how I sort of grew in my own career in HR. And quite frankly, I think it's very appropriate that we're speaking to you about this. You seem like the shift master, considering...
I should learn from her.
Well, no, as long as shift happens, it can be internal, it can be external. But of course, in my last 2 roles, my current organization, I've been there for 13 years, thinking the grass is not always green on the other grass. And I've worked in different industries, I've worked in different organizations, I've started up companies, I've closed companies, I've worked in established ones. So for me, that's where the learning is really from. Definitely. Not saying no to that.
I'm glad you said that as well as a final statement, because I wanted to extract that from all the things you've said so that anyone's watching right now can learn from that. Because not saying no to interviews, I think, also prepares you for the unexpected things that you could see down the line. So in the course of both stories you've told me, has kind of already answered a lot of my questions, but I feel like there's one that I just absolutely have to ask, considering career pivot, before we move on to making strategic moves. There's a question here that says, can you highlight to us if you agree that your first role teaches you more than your degree ever could? Welcome back to the Youth Empowered podcast. Don't forget to join the conversation on social media. Use the hashtag Youth Empowered and join the YEA community. Not Kanye West, obviously. I mean Youth Empowered community. Still on the matter of shifting career paths and, learning how to adapt. I asked you right before the break about whether or not you agree that your first degree or your first job teaches you a lot more than your degree ever could.
I think your degree is what it is a degree. That's knowledge. And work is experience.
Yeah.
Working, you're going to be working with people from different walks of life. So your degree, once you've had it, you should ideally just pack it. That was what has given you your leg in. That's not what's going to make you grow within that organization. What's going to make you grow is the additional knowledge and learning you bring in, the hard work that you put in, and the relationships and networks that you build. Everybody is coming from different backgrounds, so definitely your first role is going to be extremely different from what your degree has taught you. And my friend here, Misan, independent checker, and the person that can stand for us.
I don't know where
sure
that
you did not go to school to tell you about how to stand for us. So for me, that's just where you say that's a role, but very different from what she definitely studied in school. But what every role teaches you is that you must be open to learning. You must put in the work. Please don't tell me that your mental health is not good enough to go to work on the next day.
The Gen Zs feel attacked right now.
I'm not attacking them. I'm just saying about life. Life is real. Life is physical health, is mental health, is wellness. And you can only do it for yourself. Nobody is going to do it for you. So don't keep thinking that somebody somewhere is going to either give you that leg up or point you in the right direction or tell you whatever, or your boss tells you, leave my office, and suddenly my mental health is not okay. Your boss's mental health too might not just be okay on that day, and just take it as how it is. So that's for me. Roles are about people, work is about people and relationships, and your degree is what it is. It's just that first step into the door of work.
Would you like to add something, or may I proceed? Okay.
Proceed.
So having mentioned that now, you are now in the ecosystem where you're in the labor market or you're working at any point in time. The important question for most people, I want to believe, coming from a youth as I am myself, is how do you know when to actually make those strategic moves? That also goes hand in hand in how you might feel as a female in a male-dominated field at the same time. Because I feel like the indices are different from male and men and women in that regard. But how would you say, or what would you say are things that we should have in mind when making strategic moves in and out of careers, or upward and downward?
Myself, okay. Strategic moves are about yourself, and that's what I just said. So don't wait for something to happen for you to now decide to move. Okay. You must always see where your end game is. You must always see where is the world going, so that you are preparing your own learning to be prepared to make that next move. You must always have that next role in mind, in your hand. Okay. Don't leave a job to say, I'm going to go and look for the next one. Have that next job in your hand before you leave. Yeah, because that next job too might not be the perfect one. Okay. I don't think there's any perfect roles out there, but it's also your stepping stone to all the things you want to do. But make sure those decisions are yours. Don't wait to say, oh, I don't know, like how I was spoken to, so I'm making a knee-jerk reaction and I'm going to start misbehaving, I'm going to leave that job. Strategic moves are about planning. You must have a plan for yourself. One thing I tell my young children is, what you're going to study should not be something that you're going to go and apply for a job for. It must be something that you can sit down and be able to start something for, whether you're able to start it or not. But you have that mindset that I'm not always going to have to go and look for a job, because how many jobs are really out there? People also create jobs for themselves. So strategic is internal. It shouldn't be a reaction to what has happened to you. It should just be your own action because you have planned it. It might happen in 2 years, it might happen in 5 years, but let it be your own plan. And that's really where I would like to pause for now.
Okay, so about the lady in maybe male-dominated fields, do you often feel pressured to prove every pivot?
Okay, so I would like to add to what she said earlier. For me, one thing I've seen with women, especially those that are married, she said something. She said, you have to have a plan for yourself. Definitely. And that's the truth. What I've seen with women is, so in my role, we can have, openings and everything, and we're trying to decide who is the best person and all of that. And we give Simi a call. Hello, Simi. This role, will you be interested in the next year, 2 years, so we can plan a development plan for you and everything? And you know what I hear? Please, I'll get back to you. Let me talk to my husband. Oh my Lord! Did you say it has to be you and your husband? She said it has to be you. And that's the truth. And in you, it doesn't mean you're taking the man out or the children out or whoever is around you out. It's the fact that you've had the discussion with them, you've had plans already, so that when these questions come or when these opportunities come, you are ready at that time to take them. Not because the moment you say, let me ask my husband, trust us, we call the next person. And the next person may be a man. You know, you guys, they did not even hear about the name of the role. I'm available. Is it a promotion?
When can I start?
When can I start? Yes. And that's what happens. So I totally agree with what she has said. The fact is, you need to know what is next for you. And I always tell people, not what is next now, what is next over now. Because what is next now, you're already prepared. If it happens now, you do. But start preparing for what is next over that time. Because it may need you to go to school, it may need you to get certifications, which is not just 1 month, 2 months. Some could be 2 years, you need to go to school for it. So, just to add that, please, can you take the question again?
I think you've already done justice to most of it.
Because we keep talking about this male-dominated work.
Definitely.
Nigeria is male-dominated. So, life is male-dominated. So, those are not excuses to use to say, I'm working in this male-dominated organization. So, because of that, certain things. Life is male-dominated. I'm working with my male colleague and they're saying, good morning, sir. I don't exist. They don't see me. For whatever, I don't know themselves for whatever. I have to ask the men that don't just see you are quite invisible. So it's for you to learn the confidence that he doesn't have to see me. I see myself. Okay. So as long as I'm seeing myself and I'm confident in myself and my abilities, I don't need anybody else to see me. To validate me.
Let me add up something. Sorry. Let me just add up something. Definitely. Because I had a school, the Supply Chain Academy. It's actually a school. And in that school, when I talk to the students, I tell them in school, when you were writing exams, was there exam for female and male?
Exam for male, yeah.
There was none. It doesn't exist. So why do we come to the workplace and we now hinge on the fact that it's male dominated? Hello, it's not. Like she said, we are all employees. We're putting our best, and the best gets promoted.
Definitely. And the best gets promoted.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, now speaking of being the best and also gaining certain skills and experiences, I believe nothing you've done will go to waste. They say no knowledge gain is wasted. So when it comes to reframing your past experiences and the skills you have and transferring it to your new maybe job, what would you say are the important things to note with that in mind?
As you said, nothing that you've learned is really lost. And in my own sort of brief experience, my background is in finance. So in working in HR today, budgeting comes easy for me. Definitely. But I must budget. But also what people also need to learn is you must know the business. Knowing the business is what helps you the most. Yeah. So in knowing the business, you know what are the things that are required. But relationships is transferable. Those skills are just things that happen. You must know how to communicate. You must know how to network. You must know how to, but the foundational technical skills are, of course, very important as well. In my role, as I said, HR is my core, but currently I also manage corporate communications and branding. But that's because I just put up my hand that this sounds interesting.
Definitely.
And is an opportunity. So even though the skills are not there, you also have to do the work. So while skills can be transferable there, you cannot exchange skills of networking for not doing the work. So you must do the hard work. You must learn, relearn. You must be constantly curious. You must see where is the world going and where do I fit into this space. Now today is about ChatGPT and AI. And prompting and prompt engineering and everything. I can't say because I've always carried piece paper around that I would not be part of it.
You won't adapt.
You won't adapt. So when my people are telling me it's going to make me three a day to write a job description, I'm saying, my dear ChatGPT,
not anymore.
Please write me a job description. So you must always know where is the world going. So while skills are transferable, you must also work from the front back as well. So don't think the skills you also taught were transferred from the back. Those might not be the skills that will get you forward. So you must always look forward to come back to where you are today.
Okay, I'll add at the time I was managing warehouse operations total country for Nigerian Bottling Company. At that time, pallets, concentrates, everything as regards warehousing. And afterwards, I found myself in BPMS, now country BPMS manager. And in that space, COVID came. And when COVID came, we all, stay at home, but we actually operated that period. And warehousing came to play because in those days, we have daily calls, what's happening, what do you need to do, just normal daily calls. And we have to do such things now. We had at leadership level daily calls, but what was outstanding for me, what I'm trying to bring out is the fact that those operational things, so we have to move, maybe concentrate from Ota to Maiduguri. How long does it take? It started coming to play. We're in the leadership meeting. It would take maybe 4 days to get to Ota, to Maiduguri. So we need to start movement now. Logistics came. You said, what have you done before that is coming to play? When I did BPMS, I'm like, oh my Lord, warehousing is key here. There was a time we wanted to pay some incentives to people. And in the business, there are some people that are paid per what they do. And it was mentioned that, they shouldn't have that incentive. Yeah. But I was in the meeting. I said, those guys are the showstoppers. They are the guys really doing the job. And if you don't, you will see that the show will stop. And because of that, a decision was made that they should also get the incentive. So no matter how little it is, no matter how small, trust me, one day, just one day, you see it come back and it begins to make sense that this is why I passed through all these things. And that's why I can make positive impact now.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I can imagine how many people are currently in toxic work environments, because that's a common word that they use these days, and they're wondering why am I doing all of this? What's it out for? But I feel like as they pivot and as they progress, they would see why they had to go through the fire to become the diamond. If I should say so myself.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad that you mentioned artificial intelligence because it's the way of the world now.
Yes.
And I'm happy that we're all here to witness the next great wave. We had the internet in the 90s, social media in 2010s, and now artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in another conversation we can discuss how that affects the current employment terrain. Because if I think we should go into it right now,
won't stop.
There are probably so many angles, but I'm glad that you said that it can be useful, because there are so many people fighting it, saying no, AI will replace human being. No, and I'm like,
it's helping us. It's helping us.
Get with the tide or get lost.
It's helping us. It's helping us.
So because of time, I just like you to maybe just tell us how seeking knowledge in a new career path gives you leverage, and how the Supply Chain Academy plays a role. Final questions.
So it's a new learning phase.
Okay.
And I love to learn, and I think that's what has also helped me. For me, the best part of that academy is the young ones.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. When I see them, what how do they speak this Yoruba? I'm Yoruba, but I don't speak the language like Inumidu or something.
Yes.
As in, I'm really happy to have young people join us it's an 18 months program and everything. When I see them, I see hope, I see a future, and I see possibility that it's possible to bring people without any knowledge of Coca-Cola, Nigerian Bottling Company. You tutor them through classroom, peer-to-peer, and on-the-job learning, and you see them go on the machines, as in operate the machines, and they are doing well. It's amazing. As in, that's the best part of my job right now, handling the supply chain academy. And it's not just maybe engineering background, because there's quality and everything, but we try to teach them everything about the business. As in, it's not just core, it's also the fact that legal team comes to talk to them about the code and everything. As in, logistics teaches them about how we route, how we deliver and everything. In that space, the biggest part has been learning, because my core has been logistics.
Okay.
Going into manufacturing, quality, planning, I think it's another space. So I would say learning. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. As in, have the open mind, but also try to be the best. You can be in a new terrain, but if you really put your heart to it, I that's my motto. I must be the best. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the best supply chain capability manager.
And that's on period.
Yeah, because as in, I am a big driver of results, probably because of my core operations background. So I want to see the numbers, and I want to see it growing. So
improvement.
I'll stop.
Thank you so
here.
much for that.
Yeah.
Ma'am, on a final note, it's not easy to change. I know we've been talking about shift happens, but it's easier to say it. But in reality, it doesn't always happen as quickly or as glamorously as we would prefer. So on a final note, I just want to ask you, what are the things to have in mind when making these changes finally? Because I believe change is a catalyst for career growth. So top to bottom, what would you say to someone who desperately needed to make this change but didn't know how to wrap their mind around it?
I think we've mentioned before that your change is about yourself.
Okay.
So in wrapping your head around it is knowing, am I ready for this change? One, am I prepared for the change in having the right knowledge?
Okay.
Having done whatever certifications, as Misan mentioned, having gotten the right, is knowledge, is reading. Things are so easily accessible now. No. Yesterday I was on Udemy just trying to put things in a basket of things I just want to have time to read about, and that's just curiosity. And then in making changes, your changes should not necessarily also be about what is available now and making that jump. What are the opportunities that are coming from the future backwards? Yeah. Whether you're looking 2 years ahead, whether you're looking 3 years ahead. Not though I'm just moving this lateral move just because somebody said go and change, come and take it. So you have to be prepared for the change. You have to have built up your knowledge for the change. You also have to forecast, where is this real opportunities, where is it going, and how do I align what I know with what is going to be available in the next 1 year or 2 years. So don't make change for the fun of changing, and don't make change for the fun of because I don't like the toxic work environment. I still want to unpack what that means though about this toxic work environment. But that's the conversation for another day, because even home can be a toxic home environment, and you don't just flip to say I'm leaving home because it's suddenly toxic. So be curious, be a learner, hard work. There's no shortcoming for hard work. Even AI will not take hard work away from
you
us.
Still do.
But one thing is it should be about you.
It should be about you.
Be prepared for it. grow yourself into the change. Look for the opportunities that are there. Make yourself accessible to those opportunities as well. And don't think a step down means I am not progressing. A step down might just be how you're going to learn that catalyst and launch yourself. So don't see things that, oh, now moving backwards because I'm no longer called manager. They're now calling it officer. Be officer for as long as you want to take what you want to take away from it. From officer, you might become director. So those are the things that I would leave as final words.
Well, thank you very much. I feel like I've been blessed by so much information now.
I want her to add something. Don't leave
a job until you have the next job.
Yes, please. We need to hammer on that.
Please.
So many frustrated people right now in their current jobs saying they want to leave, and then you hear them say that because there's an analogy they go by. What I've heard, there's an analogy they go by. I don't know if it makes any sense at all. Real quick before we wrap up, they say when the Vikings went to capture new towns and cities, they burnt their ships because they feel like if they had the option to retreat and surrender, they will retreat and surrender. So in that regard, whenever they want to go for a new job, they feel like if they have a job to fall back to, they will be complacent or they will be lethargic about the whole job seeking process. So they say, oh, let me leave so I can give myself the right impetus to find a new job. Do you agree with that at all?
You might not be able to wake up in the morning because you might get into depression when those new opportunities are not there. They don't come. So my own final word, as I've said, hold that next opportunity, whatever it's going to be. You hold it first before you leave the other one, because you never know what's going to happen. So please always have your next role.
Always have your
hand.
next role.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And of course, if you have learned anything from this conversation and you'd like to see more things that could help you empower yourself as a youth, please subscribe to the podcast, follow us on social media, join the conversation, use the hashtag Youth Empowered Community. And of course, let's know what you'd like to listen to next, what you'd like us to talk about, who you'd like us to talk to right here. We'll make sure we can bring all of that to you. Don't forget, this podcast is powered by the Nigerian Bottling Company. Once again, my name is Moses Dickson. Thank you so much for watching.